Bill, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
I'm so
Like your
glad to
shirt.
be talking to you. Oh, thank you. I wore it just for this. I wore it just for you, actually.
That's funny.
I'm so excited to be talking to you. You were really great on the show this season, and I think you were a great addition.
Thanks. How long you been watching it?
Since season 2, actually. I didn't start until season 1 was already on Netflix, so I started when season 2 premiered.
Very cool.
And speaking of Riverdale, I actually have something I want to share with you. I made this just for you.
Oh wow! Is that Are those pencil?
Watercolor pencils.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
You're an awesome artist.
Thank
Can
you.
Can I get a copy of that?
Yeah, I can send it to you if you like.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be fantastic.
And that would be the Link Entertainment address, or is there another address that I can use for you?
Yeah, just send it to them. That'd be great.
Awesome. So I have a whole bunch of questions. A lot of them are Riverdale, Final Destination, and Dawson's Creek that I look forward to asking you.
Yeah.
So how did you end up getting the role of Mr. Honey for the show? What made the producers like you so much?
Actually, they called me on this one, and I'm friends with Greg Berlanti, obviously from Dawson's Creek, so we go way back there. But that's it. I mean, they called me, I said yes, and I showed up, and I'm so excited because I love Riverdale, and it was an interesting character too. It was, I like playing the villain.
You did so good as the character of the whole season. You would think he was just a bad guy, but really he actually meant well by the end of the season in killing Mr. Honey.
Well, that last episode, 419, which ended up being our season finale because of we got cut a little short this year, as everybody did. But yeah, that show, Killing Mr. Honey, it was called, was written by Ted Sullivan, and he did a great job. I mean, he gave Honey a little bit of depth, and he made the kids the bad guys for once. So I thought it was really well done.
I actually believe it's one of my favorite episodes of the season.
Yeah, it got a lot of great feedback.
There's so much about Mr. Honey that we still don't know, and you see that he actually just wanted to protect the students and build a better school environment. He's strict as well, but he also has a different personality when you see him in the video store watching snuff films. And there's another side of him that you still don't know.
He's a tough love kind of guy, that runs his school the way that he runs it. But obviously, according to what's the secretary's character's name? I can't remember.
I think
my secretary.
Just like me, actually, Miss Bell.
Actually, it is Bell. That's why. Yeah, it's Miss Bell. Right. According to her, it's been a good run. Honey's done a lot of good. So I like that, but I also like that he has this dark side that we haven't really explored yet. And you're right, with the whole snuff films in the video store. So we're gonna hopefully see where that goes.
Any chance of that coming into season 5?
I don't know what is going on for season 5, to be honest with you. Like I said, season 4 got cut short, and I think they're just kind of scrambling in the month of June coming up and just seeing what we're going to do for season 5.
And Mr. Honey is actually such an unusual character, and there's so much about the character that we, the fans, still don't know. What do you love most about playing the character?
I like being the villain. He's definitely the bad guy, but he has a good guy mentality underneath that we only briefly seen.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of that we're actually going to see. In the future, we might hopefully explore his dark side a little bit. I don't know. To be honest with you, I just enjoy playing the character, and I really want to see where the writers take him, so I can have some fun with this guy.
And what do you hope to see come from Mr. Honey if you ever come back to the show?
There's a ton of possibilities for Honey. I mean, now he's over at Stonewall, right? He's over at Stonewall Prep.
Yep.
So we could do a storyline over there where he gets in a bunch of trouble over there. Maybe gets into some sinister activity with Mark's character.
Yeah.
He could get into politics. He could get into the law. He could. There's a ton of things he could do in Riverdale that I think would fit the character pretty nicely.
Yeah, I actually wish I had a principal much like Mr. Honey, because I actually felt like I wasn't even safe in my own school environment from bullying, because I have autism and I was bullied for that. So you're actually the kind of principal I actually kind of wanted.
Keep everybody in line.
Yeah, no bullying policy, and everyone is safe.
Yeah.
So,
well, he certainly runs his school safely, and like Miss Bell said, I think nobody died on my watch.
Yes, exactly.
It's the first Riverdale.
And what did you enjoy most about being on the show and working with the cast and the crew?
I guess I enjoyed getting to know everybody. I didn't know anyone on the cast. I knew a couple people on the crew that I had worked with in Vancouver before. We shoot the show up in Vancouver, Canada. So it was really nice getting to know everybody. All the the main six, and just that's what I really enjoy about this job is just spending a lot of time with people that you don't know and getting to know them and working with them and figuring out how you put these scenes together and exploring the characters together, and that's what I really enjoy.
And when you're working with the cast, who you enjoy working with the most?
I all of them, honestly. I've gotten to know Casey Cott a little bit more than the others, just because we did spend a lot of time together during the musical episode, which he killed on. He killed it. Mm-hmm. So I've gotten to know Casey pretty well.
The musical episode this year was probably the best one so far.
Oh, right? It was amazing. The first time I saw him in drag, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! This is going to be a crazy show."
Yeah,
it was really well done.
I didn't know what Hagrid was about until after the musical episode, and then I saw the movie, and I thought it was really interesting that the show went for that.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Hedwig either, so I had to watch it prior to shooting it as well. Strange musical.
It was definitely strange, but I did download the Riverdale soundtrack for the musical, because I do download all of them.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Do you have a favorite Riverdale character?
I could probably most relate to KJ's character, Archie, personally. It's kind of who I was in high school. But other than that, I don't really have a favorite. I think he's probably just the one that I relate to the most.
Because of some of the similarities between Jack and Dawson's Creek?
Well, Jack would be more the Kevin character, right?
Yeah.
Would be Casey Cott's character. Yeah, we've talked about that, actually. Those guys are too young to have seen Dawson's Creek on the first round anyway, but Casey and I have had some nice conversations about, his character and Jack McPhee and the similarities and the differences just in a 20-year time span, and how, society has completely accepted everyone now. It's really nice to see.
And for Dawson's Creek, did you ever know? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. What was it like to become like a gay icon for teens in the closet?
Interesting. Scary, to be honest with you. That was in 1999 or 98. So, when we came out with that storyline. So, it was a time where it was much different then. It wasn't as accepted then. And I was getting a lot of mail from kids that were in the closet. And, they were telling me that, they would see the show where Jack comes out to his father, and it inspired them to do the same to their parents, and walked into their parents' bedroom and told them. And, that can either be great or it can be not so great. You really don't, you don't know how the parents are going to react and what the family unit situation is. So for me, it was scary, and I realized what a huge responsibility playing that kind of role was at that time. So we took it very seriously, what we did.
And it still resonates to today's youth. You're still being deemed an icon today compared to even back then.
Well, you kind of have to be somewhat of a 90s icon to even be on Riverdale, right? To be one of the adults, anyway. It's
yeah,
kind of
I just started season 3 of Dawson's Creek, so I'm still catching up. But it's just a really great show, and to see you come on, and I'm like, hey, I know that guy. That guy's on Riverdale. But no, yeah, I was not actually expecting the gay scene because I thought it was amazing for the show, especially a '90s series to come out like that.
Well, we were the first to do it. That's why it was such a big deal.
So you actually been in quite a few horror projects like My Bloody Valentine, Pilgrim, Forsaken, and Final Destination. Is horror one of your favorite genres to work in?
No, it's not. But it's just one of those things that's just kind of stuck to me over the years. You know, back in around 2000, it was all teen horror flicks, and all the CW was the WB back then, right? Yeah. You remember that? So all the WB stars were going off in the summer in the hiatus, and we were all doing these thrillers and horror films, because the teenage horror films, because that's what everybody wanted to see. So we all kind of, that all kind of followed us around for the next 20 years. I understand you. We have a couple friends actually. Shek, you talked to Shek, right?
Yeah, Jonathan and I have been online friends for a couple of years, and we just grown a little close, and we just kind of connected because of him playing Jonah Hex in Legends of Tomorrow, and him being supportive in the autism community. And when I saw The Forsaken for the first time the other day, I had no idea that he was going to be in it as well. So I thought I was
he's the bad guy. He was great in it.
Yeah, he was definitely a bad guy. I have not seen him in any other bad guy roles as much, but it was definitely interesting to see him be a vampire.
Oh yeah, no, John, he was fantastic in that role. He was really fun to watch. You also interviewed Todd Stashwick, who I know.
Yeah.
Remember Todd?
Yep.
He and I did a movie called. It was called Loose. I think it's called. It had a couple different titles. I think it ended up being called Lucid Days. This was in like 1996, and it was an improvisational film. And Todd is very good at improv. I was not, so I was basically learning from him and this other comedian called Brian Callen. So that was my first experience, and working with Todd was cool. And you also interviewed Wendy Lin,
yep,
makeup artist. She and I have worked together over the years too. Very, very cool lady.
So yeah, we got a lot of friends as well.
Sorry?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You probably, I know both of you through that as well. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Wendy and... She
did Wendy did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah. Well, we had worked on a show together called E-Ring back in 2005, and then I saw her again when I did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a few years back. Yeah.
Season 4 was actually my favorite season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I actually had to go back and watch it just so I can watch your role because I had no recollection of you being in there.
Yeah, it was only a couple of episodes. I kind of played like a Indiana Jones kind of guy. It was fun.
Yeah, it was very cool. Especially if you're a Marvel fan. Are you planning to do any other superhero type of work in the future, or just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Hey, if they ask me to play a superhero, I'll play a superhero.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, right? What superhero do you think I should do? What could you see me as?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. Not something you can just drop
on. I want an answer by the end of this interview. I want an answer. What superhero do you see Kerr Smith playing?
All right, I'll do my best. So Final Destination just had its 20th anniversary a couple weeks ago. I actually just watched all the films for the first time, like when quarantine started, and they were just incredible, especially the first film, which I deemed the best. Does it feel like it's been 20 years since working on that?
It feels like yesterday. It really does. Yeah, that was my first. That was my first experience on a relatively big budget studio picture. And I did that on my first hiatus at Dawson's Creek during the summer. So yeah, that was a fun film to do. Still to this day, every time I get on an airplane, I make sure that the lock on the tray doesn't break. If it does, I'm getting off the plane.
I'm thinking the same thing. And Pilgrim actually kind of ruined Thanksgiving for me after watching that too.
It ruined it for me. Believe me. I'll. Ugh. You know when my head's on the plate?
Oh, that's when I turned it off.
So that's actually my head, and I was surrounded with kale.
Oh,
I can't to this day. That was a year ago we shot that. I still can't eat kale.
No, it was definitely creepy. Even though I like horror movies, that one I just cannot get through. Like cannibal movies, I can't do.
No, it was. Yeah, you're right. It was very strange.
And for Final Destination, were you surprised with how big the franchise came to be after the first film?
I knew we were making something special during that first film. You know, it was the guys from X-Files that were producing and writing it and directing it, and I think they put together a really good cast. I knew Sean William Scott was about to take off because he had just shot American Pie, and it hadn't come out yet, so nobody knew who he was yet.
Okay.
But in a month, I knew he was going to go big. You know, Allie and Devin were relatively well-known names. So I knew I was in a good project, and I knew that they were putting something together that was really special. So, like, they were doing really cool things. Like when you walk down the, to go to the airplane, you walk down that tunnel. I forget what it's called. They actually constructed a tunnel where it got smaller as you went down. So it produced this optical illusion. Actually, it wasn't an illusion, but it exaggerated it. Where by the end of the tunnel, I was literally almost ducking to get into the airplane.
Oh my goodness!
So it was little stuff like that, the little details that they really spent a lot of time and thought, and it really made this film special. And of course, yeah, it became this huge, huge franchise. I mean, I never would have guessed it would have gotten that big, and they're doing a sixth one now too.
I can't.
The guy who directed the Hulu thing that I did, Pilgrim, is writing with his partner the new Final Destination.
Oh,
how cool is that?
I can't wait for that. I was going to say something, I forgot. Well, does she have to do any stunt work for Final Destination?
Yeah, we did. A couple of fights. You know, I do all the fight scenes, and we were jumping around. You could classify being in the plane crash as a stunt. Honestly, I'll tell you what we did there. It was pretty neat. They rebuilt a section of a fuselage of an airplane in the studio, and then they put it up on this massive gimbal. And then there was a stunt guy, basically, or effects guy, who had a joystick, and he would just tilt the joystick left, right, up, and back, and the entire fuselage full of, I don't know, 50, 75 people, camera guys, all that, would tilt, 20, 25 degrees in every direction. It was something that had never been really done before, so it didn't work very well. It broke, actually, the first time we were on it, and we had to, they had to redo it. It was kind of weird. But we had, sections of the plane blowing off, if you remember that, and stunt people getting sucked out into the air. Yeah. I mean, they were getting pulled out of the airplane by pulleys and whatnot, and onto mats and stuff like that. But I mean, you consider, honestly, that doing that whole sequence was just one massive stunt, and it was really cool.
And
the train sequence was another great one.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to say that we see that very scene again in the fifth movie, which ended up being a prequel, and we see parts of you in the movie. And
they walk by in the airport or something?
Yeah, we got the airport scene. You're on the airplane. You see parts of you on the plane, and then the whole thing just happened.
That's pretty cool how they kind of meshed the two stories together.
And I just saw a video
that was 5?
Saying you didn't know that you were in it.
Yeah, no, actually, I did an interview last year, and I did not know that I was in the. You said it's the 5th?
Yeah, the 5th one.
The 5th film? Yeah, I didn't know I was in it.
That's crazy. So, are you currently working on any new projects at this time?
Well, we just finished season 4 of Riverdale, so no, there's nothing going on at all right now, as you can imagine. So yeah. I think nothing's really going to start picking up until July again.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, we shall see. I really appreciate the time talking to you today, Kerr. It was really great.
Bill, thanks so much for reaching out.
No problem.
You're awesome. You're awesome. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's really fun to watch.
You're awesome, too. I'm a huge fan.
Will you please send me a copy of, you don't have to send me the one you made, but just take a picture of it or whatever you want. Just send it to me. I'd really like to have that for my wall.
Absolutely. Is that like your first fan art that I did for you, or have you seen it?
No, there's been a couple sketches over the years, but they're all like pencil.
Yeah.
That's the first one I've seen in color, and it's really good, and it's the Mr. Honey character too, so it's really, I think it's amazing. You did a nice job. You're very talented.
Thank you. I just started using watercolor pencils like a couple weeks ago, and I'm already mastering it. Like I'm doing sketches or color pencils.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
All right, superhero. Who?
Okay. I honestly was not even thinking about it at this time, but I think I could see you as like a DC character, someone you could see like Batwoman or something, because you have that kind of tone when you play Mr. Honey. So I honestly see you as a DC character, but I honestly cannot place it at this moment.
Good guy, bad guy?
I say a villain, because you were definitely pretty good at Mr. Honey, and I see that personality in another villain.
Well, I played enough good guys in my career. It's really fun to start playing the bad guys later in life. It's a good change.
Definitely. Alright, well, I'll upload the video and I'll send you a link, and I will definitely send you the picture later this week. And I'll touch base with you at a later time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome. Great talking to you.
Be safe.
Bye.
You too.